Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to TSUKIHIME. Now this is take 2 because I accidentally recorded a whole ass episode with no game audio. You see, I talked about this at the end of the previous episode, but I switched over to I was switching over, I now absolutely have switched over to a whole new mic setup, a new audio device that I am listening to or hearing everything through, and that did not include the mix from my capture card. So I should have noticed something was a little off on OBS, but I think I was just so excited to record, my first recording session standing up with my whole new setup because I've got a whole new desk. I've moved everything around. I was just so focused on everything else that I thought, oh, there could be no recording issues or any audio issues whatsoever. Excuse me. With this session, and therefore I just went through the entire thing without having noticed that OBS wasn't picking up anything from the game. I have easily rectified this by the click of a button, and that was it. But that means that I now have to go through all of this yet again, so no surprises for me in this episode, but I will try to splice in moments of reactions and yapping as I tend to do, my regular ramblings. I'll try to splice those in here and there just so you guys have my initial moments through what I tried to record last time. And I will try not to fall asleep going through all of this yet again and providing some commentary here and there. And of course, reading what is on the screen. But where we ended off last time was we found out that we are not necessarily going back to the normal life that we thought we were about to finally settle into. And instead, nope, the killings are still going on. And Shiki is thinking right now that there's no way. Could it have been the only other vampire we know? Also, if you guys want to watch the episode where it's just my voice and nothing else, there's no other sound, I did upload that for members and patrons, so if you guys want to go check that out, it's available for all tiers, so even $1 if you just want to go through the muted episode. Classes come to an end and school finishes for the day. Or maybe I should say school was over before I knew it. The worst possible assumptions had clouded my mind, and by the time I realized it, I was sitting alone in an empty classroom. Before, I wouldn't have given it a second thought. But she said it herself. She's never killed any humans. I can't see her lying to me about that. Only Arcueid would know the answer to that question. If I could just find her, I'm sure the pieces would all fall into place. That's why I don't understand what I'm thinking. This is no longer any of my business. When I finished off Lolv, I went back to my old life. I did my job. My part in this should be over. I have no reason to dive back in. Why would I go back to all that craziness of my own volition? I should just go on home, keep walking down this path as if nothing ever happened. But we ain't gonna. There's still a lot about his past that we need to figure out, I'll go home. That has to be the next best alternative. Although I've been taught since I was little to always choose the best option. I mean, this is definitely the safest option. Those words saved my life. I've always tried to live by them, so I can't pretend like this has nothing to do with me. This isn't over. Now that I've gotten myself involved, it's my responsibility to see this through to the end. We are the main character after all, I mean, come on. And we've already seen that Shiki's got a little bit of plot armor. Only a little bit, though. I leave the school. Although I don't have any idea where she could be, I still have the key to her apartment, so I'll start there. That does help. Wait, when did we get the key from her? That is a good question to ask. Unless we just kept a copy? Was there a copy to keep? All right, but we got to get home before dark because we're already on, like, not so good terms with our sister after we kind of just dashed out of the house. And that's another thing. Why was he feeling sick every time that he saw her or spoke with her? The apartment looks the same as when I last left it, but Arcueid is nowhere to be seen. There are signs that she's been here, though. I'm relieved that she hasn't just disappeared into thin air. I could wait for her here, but there's no knowing if she'll be coming back. I'll probably have to look for her in town, just like how I first met her. Not a bad strategy. And nighttime, here we come. The sun sets over the city, paving the way for night to reveal itself. I take a look around all the major spots, but I don't manage to catch a hint of Arcueid. What do I do? It's still early in the evening. And I've already thought this through. I'll splice in my thoughts here. It's still early in the evening. Fuck. Go back to the mansion and think things through, or wander the city for a bit. Shit. What do we do? What do we do? I'm kind of tempted to just go back home. I don't know if wandering around is really going to get us much. You can argue there's the possibility that we could run into her, but we could also run into her on the way back. We could figure something out that we're not considering right now, sit and give it some thought, instead of just kind of rushing into it. Let's go back home. I think that's the best idea. See, I would have chosen something like this if I had known that we were going to get into some trouble the last time. I was like, hey, yeah, let's just stay out and about. You know? That obviously almost got us killed. We will go back to the mansion and think things through. No need to wander around the city. Let's go back. Let's use our big old noggin. It's 7 o'clock. This has always been a quiet street, but once night falls, it's almost completely silent. I'm about to press the call button to get the gate unlocked when I remember that it's just before dinner. I'm sure Kohaku and Hisui are in the kitchen right now, and I don't want to bother them. I'll use the key card I have to get through the side gate. It had left my mind completely. I remember what happened this morning as I passed through the gate. Could Akiha still be angry about me leaving in a hurry? No way she's not a kid. Yeah way she's not an adult. What the fuck kind of choices are these? Shit. We could be going in here, not necessarily blindly, but, I mean, we're in trouble either way, so how do we want to approach it is basically the way to go about it. Or there's a high chance that we're in trouble. How do we want to approach that possibility? Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. She's not a kid. Actually, I was very uncertain about this choice, and like I was even uncertain after I made the choice because I wanted the opposite, but at the same time I didn't. Akiha is only angry because I wouldn't have Kohaku check me out and because I ran in the hall. And neither is something to stay mad about all day. I can't exactly explain to her what's going on, but I can at least tell her that I'm sorry. I should tell her I'm home first. After that, I just need to come up with a plan to find Arcueid and then sneak away once it's lights out. Easy enough.
Tadaima.
You know, especially since the mansion does become pitch dark around, like, what, 10? I enter the lobby, trying to sound as natural as possible. That's strange. I can hear voices from the parlor. It's just before dinner. It's odd that anyone would be in the parlor at this time. Kohaku should be in the kitchen, and I can't exactly see Hisui and Akiha chatting with one another. Either that or we have a visitor. Just as I'm about to head over to the parlor and find out for myself, Hisui exits the room. Could she be coming to greet me after hearing me arrive home? Something about her expression seems off, like she's gloomier than usual.
遅くなったけど、ただいま翡翠。
Hisui stares at me blankly. She doesn't even give me a welcome home.
何かあった？
I forgot my SIR I likes to try and activate whenever I say her name.
気のせいか。
That didn't happen in the first
怒っているよう
take.
に見えるんだけど。
四季様にお客様です。先ほどから居間でお待ちですので、どうぞお急ぎください。
俺に客？
Hisui nods.
おかしいな。俺を訪ねに来るやつなんていないはずだけど。引っ越したことを知ってるのは有彦ぐらいだし、最近知り合いになったやつもいな。
Wait a second. A terrible feeling washes over me.
翡翠、それ、どんなやつ？
金色の髪をした綺麗な女性の方です。
Is it a woman of some sort? Is it potentially a good-looking woman with, you know, a bright complexion? Yep, there we go. There's only one person I know who fits that description. My reflexes take over. I break into a dash, sprinting towards the parlor as fast as my legs will carry me.
何がどうなってんだ！
I swing open the door and enter the room of death. But it's already too late. There's no stopping this now. My end is nigh.
あら、お帰りなさい、兄さん。今夜もまた定例通り遅かったですね。
あ、やっと帰ってきたな、こいつめ。妹さんばかりか私まで待たせるとか、やっぱり普段から横暴なのね。
They stare at me with polar opposite expressions on their faces. I know what this feeling is. This must be how a captive feels when they're forced to plead for their life with a gun pointed at the back of their head, like in an action movie. Words fail me. I'm unable to come up with any kind of response. I can't believe Arcueid and Akiha are face to face in the same room. They're both sitting on the sofa like there's nothing amiss at all. Though unlike Arcueid, who seems perfectly calm, Akiha has bitter contempt written all over her face. Hello, sister of ours. Akiha glances at me.
どうしたんですか、兄さん。そんなところに立っていないで、どうぞこちらに来て座ってください。
No, standing is okay. No way. I inch a little closer to the sofa, but the feeling that I might be stabbed by a knife keeps me from moving any nearer.
ここでいいです。それより、アキハ、こいつはだな、
How do I even begin to explain? I doubt I can get away with calling her a classmate, and saying that she's someone I met in town would probably just make things worse.
何ですか?
I don't like it when you look at us like that. Akiha's glare pierces into me. I can tell I'm not going to be let off the hook here. Gah, I don't think there's anything I can say that'll dig me out of this hole. Still, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or disturb what little peace I've found. There's got to be a way to explain. But what's she even doing here in the first place? How can she sit there smiling away like that? I can't imagine Akiha would let someone she's never met before into the parlor.
その前にいいかな。こいつ、なんて言ってやってきたの？
Arcueid tilts her head in confusion.
兄さんのご友人ではないんですか？この方はそう自称しましたが。
ああ、うん。友人といえば友人。
そうですか。私にも紹介していただけると嬉しいわ。兄さんのご友人でしたら、無下にお帰りいただくわけにはいきませんし。
Yeah, don't do that.
それはですね、アキハさん。
I mumble.
友人ね。
Arcueid works her way into the conversation, probably tired of being ignored.
あんなひどいことしておいて、そういうこと言うんだ。
Here we go.
私、まだ体が痛いんだけど。
The beautiful misconceptions. My head whirls. Now this is some vertigo. Floored, I find myself decoupling from reality with astonishing speed.
それはどういった意味でしょうか。私の兄が身体面あるいは精神面においてあなたに危害を加えたとでも。失礼ですが、ご自分がどれほど信憑性のない発言をしているか理解していますか？
ええ、バッチリね。でも安心して、そんなのもう気にしていないから。ちゃんと体で返してもらったし。
Fantastic way to say it, Arcueid. I could not have said it better myself.
なので、どうぞお構いなく。私はシキを誘いに来ただけだもの。すぐに出かけるわ。ね、そうでしょ、シキ。
God, that face that she has. Shit, this is bad. The more she talks, the shorter my lifespan gets.
Yeah!
I force a laugh as I make for Arcueid, grabbing her arm.
ちょっとシキ、急に何するのよ。
There's no time to listen to her complaints. Dragging Arcueid by the arm, I bolt out of the parlor, leaving a stunned Akiha behind. Hisui is waiting in the lobby. I wonder what she's thinking, seeing me with Arcueid in tow. I have the hunch that I won't like the answer, so I'll worry about that later.
お出かけですか、四季様。
不本意ながらすっごく申し訳ないんだけど、玄関の鍵は開けておいてほしい。
Or don't, it's all good.
はい、かしこまりました。
I hurry past the bowing Hisui and try to get away from the mansion as fast as possible. Ah, what a lovely collision of worlds, I guess you could say.
痛いな。いきなり外に連れ出すなんて、シキって常識ないんじゃない？
I've never heard a stupider question in my life.
お前こそ何のつもりだよ。真正面からうちの屋敷に来るなんて正気じゃないぞ。もしかして俺の生活をぶっ壊すつもりなのか、このバカ女。
バカ女って、あなた私をバカにしてるの？
バカをバカって言ってんだから、それ以外何があるって言うんだ、バカ。
I'm actually livid. I've never been in such an infuriating situation before. I have to give her a piece of my mind, otherwise I won't be able to let this one go.
何よ。私はシキに会いに来ただけじゃない。そんなに怒られるようなことしてないと思うけど。
会いに来ただけって、アルクエイド、お前本気で言ってるのか？
そうだけど、何よ。何の問題もないからね。魔眼も使ってないし、極めて人間的なアプローチしたんだし。シキの妹さんにだって、シキの目のことも、私が吸血鬼であることも、ちゃんと黙っててあげたんだから。
そこは言わなくてもわかる。そっちの話に関しちゃ常識ありそうだからな、お前。
わかんないな。それじゃあ、なんでそんなに怒ってるのよ、あなたは。
そっちがあんまりにも考えなしだからだよ。この際だからはっきり言っておくぞ。周囲の目を考える、自分の特徴を自覚する。頼むから、もうちょっとおとなしめに行動すること。お前はいるだけで目立つんだから。
God damn it, I forgot about that. I feel better now that I've said what needed to be said. But again, we can talk about this. I kind of really want to now that I'm seeing it for the second time. Though Arcueid, who had been on the receiving end of it, seems the complete opposite. She glares at me like a pouting cat.
何よ、勝手なことばっかり言って。だいたいいるだけで目立つってどうしてよ。私、外見は人間と変わらないでしょ。
美人はいるだけで目立つんだよ。人間であるかどうかなんて関係ない。
I reply to her frankly. Maybe it's because I gave her a straight answer, but Arcueid readily accepts it.
まあ、こっちも言い過ぎた。こういう修羅場は初めてだったから、気が動転してたんだ。
別にいいよ。悪かったのは私の方みたいだし。
Arcueid bows her head in a show of honest remorse. Somehow I'm starting to feel guilty for thinking she may have had some ulterior motive.
で、 どうしてうちに来たりしたんだ。いや、俺もお前に話があったから渡りに船だけど。
Yeah, honestly, this does work out.
そうなの？私は単にシキはどうしてるのかなって様子を見に来ただけなんだけど。
そうか、興味本位か。次は木の陰にでも隠れてこっそり見に来てくれ。で、
I feel exhausted all of a sudden. Though this isn't exactly the first time I've been caught up in one of Arcueid's little whims. And the fact that she didn't tell Akiha anything means she at least put some consideration into my position here.
ともかくだ。真剣に話したいことがある。ここじゃ落ち着かないから場所を変えたいんだけど。
いいけど、話って何よ？
すぐにわかる。そうだな。そろそろ人気もなくなるし、公園あたりがいいかもしれない。
I motion toward the road and start walking. Arcueid tilts her head in curiosity, but follows after me without a word. It's vampire-related stuff. We can't talk about that here. So to the park we go. We're going to be in deep trouble whenever we do get home, though, that's for sure. We have not been on Akiha's good side, like, at all. No matter how hard you try, it's just not going to happen. The good old nighttime park chat.
話って何なの、シキ？
吸血鬼のこと。お前、前に言ったよな。
Arcueid nods.
それじゃあ、今朝のニュースで新しい犠牲者が出たっていうのは知ってるか？昨日の夜に通り魔に殺されて血を抜かれたらしいんだけど。
Haha, here we go. She narrows her eyes. I can tell that I've stepped on thin ice. One wrong step will be the end of me.
ふん。
それでって、お前。
I swallow nervously. Arcueid peers right at me. Her eyes tell me that she's ready to... to pounce at the slightest movement.
おかしいじゃないか、アルクエイド。ブローブは死んだ。なのに、どうしてまだ吸血鬼騒ぎが起こる？まさかとは思うけど、あれは。
If this is your doing, I...
はあ、もう、そんなわけないでしょ。それは私じゃなくて、他の吸血鬼の仕業よ。
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, come on. Like, we totally believed her. And through that belief, she was able to protect everybody. Well, those that she could, those that she did during that fight, including Shiki. Arcueid interjects, slicing through the tension. A strange happiness wells up in my throat, but I shouldn't get my hopes up yet. It's great that it was another vampire, but there's still a couple of things that don't make sense.
他の吸血鬼の仕業って、そう次から次へと吸血鬼が出てくるのか？
まさか、あの事件は初めから一人の吸血鬼の仕業よ。この町を食い物にする新しい吸血鬼なんてやってこないし、ブローブだってあの事件には全く関係ないわ。
Vlav was never connected?
関係ないって、それどういう意味だよ？
言った通りの意味だけど。もう、四季って切れるようでどこか抜けてるのね。
You know, there's been a lot going on.
いい？確かにブローブは吸血鬼だったけど、あいつは人の血を吸っていた？
吸っていたかって当然だろ。あいつはあんなに人間を片っ端から燃やして。
That's the big point there. So that's it. How did I not notice something so obvious? The bodies left behind by the serial killer have been drained of blood, but they were otherwise unscathed. But Vlav was different. He burned his victims. He drank their blood too, but draining them was never his modus operandi. And come to think of it, the victims at the hotel weren't connected to the serial murders. They were treated as casualties of a fire. Which means Vlav must not have had any connection to the serial murders to begin with.
待ってくれ。じゃあ吸血殺人事件は何なんだ？一体どこの誰があんな真似をしてやがる？
It's the head vampire.
だから、あの事件はブローブとは別の吸血鬼の仕業なの。私はその吸血鬼を殺すためにこの町にやってきたわ。 ブローブが来た理由はちょっとあやふやになってきたわね。てっきり私を追いかけてきた一人かと思ったけど、ブローブにはそれだけの理性、使徒社会における協調性はなかったみたいだし。ま、そのあたりはもういっか。ブローブは死んだんだし。とにかくブローブとこの町に救っている吸血鬼は別物よ。ブローブは正真正銘無関係の第三者。私、標的がブローブだなんて言わなかったでしょ。ブローブにとっての標的は私だったけど、私にとっての標的はこの町で通り魔と言われている吸血鬼だけよ。シキ、まさかとは思うけど、ものすごく単純な勘違いしてたとか？
Yeah, maybe. I swallow nervously. Arcueid's right, though. She said her goal was to kill the vampire, which I just assumed was Vlov.
それじゃあ何か。あの夜ブローブと殺し合ったのは無意味なことだったっていうのか。
無意味じゃないわ。シキは私の代わりに戦ってくれたんじゃない。ま、シキさえ私を殺さなかったらその必要もなかったでしょうけど。
Yeah, I mean, she's got a point there. The exhaustion hits me such that it feels like my knees will give out at any second. It was all pointless. Killing Vlov changed nothing in the end. There's still a vampire in town, and even if it was just for a split second, I tried to pin the blame on Arcueid. Shit. Disappointment and self-loathing swirl around in my head.
悪い。しつこいけど、最後に確認させてくれ。ブローブは吸血鬼殺人には関係なくて、ここ1ヶ月街を騒がしているのは別の吸血鬼ってことだな。
うん、そういうこと。でもこれは私が済ませる問題だから、シキは気にしないでいいよ。そんなことよりねえ。
Arcueid looks up at me, a wide smile brimming across her face.
なんだよ。言っておくけど、ものすごく余裕がないぞ、俺。
My feelings are all over the place right now. Anything she says could knock me right off my feet.
ちょっとした疑問よ。二人でブローブを倒した時のこと。ねえ、なんで3分だったの？
なんでって何が？
シキ、3分しか時間はないって言ってたじゃない。どうして3分なのか全然わからなくて。
あのな、言っただろ。あそこは海の底みたいなものだって。
ん？海の底だと3分なの？
That was a close one. If I was feeling like my usual self, I would have shot back with something snarky.
まあ、そうだよ。人間はお前みたいなのと違って、それぐらいしか水に潜っていられないの。
何よ。私だってちょっとは寒かったわ。
Yeah, it was a little colder for everybody else.
海の底だって何時間も潜ってたら退屈だし。
I was chilly, she says. Meanwhile, I genuinely thought I was dead.
下を向いてどうしたの？
いや、ちょっとめまいがして。気にしなくて、いや、気にしてくれ。実際海に潜ったら3分だって怪しいからな。人間はか弱いんだから、頑丈なお前と一緒にするな。
I wave Arcueid off with one hand as I cradle my head with the other.
ま、今更言っても始まらないか。お前たちが化け物じみてるのは身に染みてるし。いえ、ブローブのことは俺がバカだった。それよりアルクエド。
I calm myself and begin to say something, but when I look up, what's with that expression on her face?
アルクエド？
何よ、シキの意地悪。どうせ私は人間じゃないですよーだ。
Arcueid turns the other way in a huff and starts walking.
おい、ちょっと待て。どこ行く気だよ。
人間なシキには関係ない。ついてこないでよね。
Arcueid storms off without even a glance in my direction. She seems genuinely upset. Man, where is she going? I must have struck a nerve, you think? Looking back, maybe I was being a little unfair.
いや、 でもそんな悪口言ってないぞ。
Did I? Considering how mad she is, I feel like I must have earned it. Like, really earned it. In fact, I kind of feel like an asshole.
ああ、もう悪かった。今のは俺が悪かった。だから待て、止まれってば。
I rush after the white silhouette in front of me, not just because I feel guilty. In case she's forgotten, we still have important things to discuss. That we do. There's a whole new situation on our hands, or I guess the continuing situation. Arcueid walks through the night full of purpose. Her golden hair flutters in the air. She looks the same as she did when I first laid eyes on her. The same as when she first faced Vlolv amid all that collapsed rubble. Gone is the tenderness I felt a second ago. She has the air of a hunter stalking its prey, her movements now sharp and deliberate.
アルクエイド。
Arcueid doesn't respond. She continues marching forward.
話を聞けって。どこに行くつもりだよ。
The white huntress does not stop. I can't back down. But I can't manage to do anything else for now, so I follow behind her silently. We walk in complete silence except for the sound of our footsteps. Until that is, Arcueid comes to an abrupt halt and turns toward me.
ついてこないで。あなたみたいな普通の人間にいられると迷惑だってわからない？
人間で悪かったな。何をしているのか教えてくれたら帰るよ。
式には関係ないからほっといて。
Arcueid twirls around and begins walking again. Well, damn. It looks like I'm getting the silent treatment again. It happens to the best of us. It really does. We leave the shopping district and come to an underpass when Arcueid suddenly stops.
見つけた。
Arcueid's voice is cold. She sounds like a completely different person. A shiver trickles down my spine. Even from behind, I can tell by her posture how ready she is to fight.
何を？
Doing. Well, I don't say it. I know exactly what she's doing without having to ask. A pure, unbridled hostility flows from her, freezing the air.
おい、何考えてるんだ、お前。
Arcueid doesn't answer. Her gaze is fixed on a perfectly normal-looking man in a suit.
式、メガネを外してあの人間を見てみなさい。
あの人間って、前にいるあの男。
早く、私が何をしているか知りたいのなら質問は後よ。
はあ、あんまり街中で見たくはないんだけど。
Yeah. Look at that ordinary-looking businessman. I remove my glasses. And now he's not so ordinary. My temples throb. In exchange for the pain, the lines running across the ground and walls come dimly into view.
確認しておくけど、あなたの線は生物の方がはっきり見える？
ああ、その方がより確かに見える。
でしょうね。あなたは生物だから鉱物の死を理解できない。形の上の摩耗というカテゴリーの結果は見えても、鉱物たちにとっての終わりは見えない。そのためには彼らと同じ視点、同じ価値観を得なくてはいけない。死を見るためには命を理解しないといけないから。それじゃあついでに聞くけど、今の式から見てあの人間はどんな感じ？
I don't see how he'd be any different. I step back in reflex. What is that? Every human being has lines on them. Most only have a few, though, which gently trace their bodies in geometric patterns. But what the fuck is that? The lines are scrawled across his entire body like bulging veins and arteries. The man's covered in them. I can't even see what he looks like under them all. I want to throw up. He's backwards. That is not a person with lines. It's as if the lines themselves have assumed a human form.
式にはどう見える？私としては シキには普通の人間に見えていてほしいんだけど。
I'm unable to give Arcueid an answer. It takes all my focus to not vomit.
そう、残念ね。シキはあれにも死を見てしまっているなんて。
あ、なんか普通とは違うけど線は見えてる。
やっぱり死者さえ殺せるのね。命があるなしの問題さえ無関係。動いているもの、破壊できるものなら例外なく停止させる。シキが見ている通り、あれはもう人間とは呼べないわ。死という負債を他人の血でごまかし続ける吸血鬼だから。
Arcueid quickens her pace. She makes a beeline for the unexceptional looking man.
おい、アルクエイド。
シキはそこにいて。
The man disappears from sight, perhaps having become aware of Arcueid. Or to be precise, the thing leaped away with inhuman speed. He flees deeper into the safety of the darkness beneath the tracks. Arcueid is already nowhere to be seen. She's left the refuge of the rusted lights to follow the man into the darkness. I can feel my heartbeat in my ears. It's still early in the evening. A car passes by with its headlights blazing. A train rattles along overhead. Despite all this noise, I lose the sense of anyone around me. My glasses. I need to get my glasses back on now. If I don't, I will see something far worse. Something so dark, so terrifying, it'll make the things I've seen pale in comparison. But my body won't move. My eyes eagerly gaze into the darkness as if drawn to the patchwork world that Arcueid has entered. I blink, and silence envelops me. The wind, even the smell of the earth. It's like everything has been frozen in place. Screeching. Under the ice-cold moon, an eerie noise emanates from beyond the shadows. Grinding. I shouldn't be able to see anything, or even hear. Squelching. But I did see it. My eyes catch a glimpse of the moment death meets death. My vision turns vermilion. How is it possible that these eyes see death even in pitch darkness? My glasses. If I don't get them on this minute, I think I'll lose it. Fighting off the urge to vomit, I slip on my glasses with trembling hands. Or like the reverse Velma, in a weird way. Not even reverse, really. Light and sound return. I steel myself and scan my surroundings, but find nothing out of place under the tracks. Nobody around. A couple cars maybe, but it's still just a normal city at night. A pocket of civilization where humans can live, sheltered from danger, an oasis where no harm shall ever befall them. I have trouble breathing. Even with my glasses on, the creature's death lingers in my peripheral vision, making me sick.
Arcueid.
Out of the darkness emerges Arcueid. Her footsteps unsteady. She's breathing even harder than I am.
シキ。そっか。まだ残ってたんだ。
Arcueid averts her grimacing face and sways past me. Her steps seem weak and frail. To be honest, I still haven't gotten over my own nausea. But seeing Arcueid in such pain, that's now the least of my worries.
待てよ。一体どうしたんだお前。
I grab Arcueid's shoulder as she tries to leave. Arcueid turns slowly, her eyes flat.
大丈夫よ。少し疲れただけだから構わないで。シキには全然関係がないんだから。
バカ、疲れているなら休め。変に汗かいてるし、どう見ても重症だぞ。
I take hold of her arm as I try to control my own breathing.
何よ。そういうシキだって今にも倒れそうな顔してる。
俺のはただの貧血、いつものことだ。人を気にしてる余裕があるなら自分の体も気遣えよ。
いいのよ。どうせ気遣っても無駄なんだから。
Arcueid's breathing is so weak it pains me to hear.
まさか、お前、あの時の傷。
Ding ding ding. I can't finish the question. She got that wound protecting me. Arcueid casts her eyes downward, refusing to answer. And that must be a yes.
もう、何度言わせるんだこのバカ。そんな体でおとなしくできないのか。
おとなしくしてるつもり。
全然してない。人間離れしてるからって治りきってないのに出歩くやつがいるか。
And this is making me realize just how angry I am. I can't let her do this. I can't abandon her, no matter how much trouble she is.
お前、本当に何してんだよ。こら、黙ってないで答えろ。話してくれるまでお前から離れないからな。
I grab her by the shoulders. Her eyes remain downcast, but she manages a slight nod.
もう割としつこいのね、あなたって。いいわ。それじゃあ場所を変えましょう。どのみち、さっきのも外れだったみたいだし。
Arcueid brushes away my hands and spins on her heel. We're not headed for the shopping district, it seems. Instead, she guides me toward the park. Ah, yes. The park. Now that is where discussions happen. We arrive soon enough. Did her injuries heal on the way here? She appears to be back to her usual self.
あっさり元に戻ってるし。もしかしてさっきは油断して傷を負ったとかいうオチじゃないだろうな。
え？違うよ。傷が治りかけなのは本当だってば。
治りかけなのは本当だ。本当じゃないことも言ったってことだよな。
何その言い方、すっごくいやらしいんですけど。
お前の言動が怪しすぎるんだよ。文句があるならさっき何をしてたのか話してみろ。大方予想はついてるけど何をあんな痛がってたんだ。
さて、それじゃあ式のお望み通り、私が何をしていたかを話してあげましょう。
Oh boy. She's clearly doing this to change the topic. Then again, this is what I wanted to know. How she's feeling can wait for the time being.
じゃあ確認からさせてくれ。さっきのやつは吸血鬼の手足になってる死者だな。あれの大元がお前の本当の敵。
なんと、今度は話が早いのね、式。
Yeah, I gotta say, going through this twice really does help.
そいつはどうも。俺だって少しは頭は回るからね。さっきの話で大体の事情は飲み込めている。
うん、良きかな良きかな。式の可愛い勘違いはブローブのことだけってことね。
可愛いって言うな。仕方ないだろ。あの時は自分のことだけで手一杯だったんだから。
I mean, even at the time, I could have, told any of you that I was pretty certain that Vlov was not our main antagonist in the story. However, I didn't consider the fact that he was just burning his victims. He wasn't, just draining them of blood and that was it.
ふん。自分のことだけで手一杯ね。ま、そういうことにしておいてあげましょう。
Arcueid twirls around like something's fun about all this and peers into my face. What's up with her?
いいから話。さっきの男はもうとっくに死んでいたんだな。
Yeah, more or less.
そうよ。あれはあいつのしもべだから始末しただけ。下級の使者だったけど、それでも放っておくと人間を殺して力を蓄えられてしまうから。式、ホテルで話した吸血鬼の話、覚えてる？
Yeah, it's sort of like a give and take type situation. This, main antagonist vampire, whoever he is, whoever we want to, refer to him as, he is going to create his, small little army. Start small, those that can kind of work for him in a way of like, they're going to go out and do his work. So he is going to create them in order for them to feed back into Big Papa. Of course I nod. The ecology of vampires Castellans in the hierarchy of their subjects. Sires hunt and kill humans to turn them into their minions. Then they hide away while those minions gather blood for them. Arcueid also spoke about the differences between Castellans and the older type of vampires. Immortal, weak to the sun, the stereotypical vampire.
それはもう教えてもらった。
I remember a gist.
じゃあ、お前の追っている敵とやらが殺人事件の吸血鬼で間違いないんだな。
ええ、間違いないわ。たとえあいつが手を下したのは最初の一人だけだとしても、そこから発生した死者たちの殺人は全部あいつの成果になる。だから。
さっきみたいに街を歩き回って吸血鬼のしもべを探していた。そうすれば親の居場所がわかるのか。
強く親に結びついたしもべならね。けど今のところ外ればっかり。棺、敵の潜伏場所が見つからないのはそれだけ多くの死者を使っているからよ。
Oh, fun.
あいつが自分の手を汚すのは数回だけ。あとは死者にした人間を操って自分は眠っているだけで領地を広げていく。この町の犠牲者は100人を超えている。あなたたちが騒いでいる犠牲者なんて人知れずいなくなった人間の一部分に過ぎないわ。
Hearing it all again makes my blood run cold. 2 days ago, I had thought Vlal was the cause of all of this, and being able to channel all these emotions into killing him is what kept me sane. But this time is different. The murders continue. More than 100 victims attacked, drained of blood and killed by former humans. But then they're robbed of their rest. They become walking corpses like the clump of lines, and are made to prowl the town for more victims. It was just 3 days ago. I recall the people annihilated at the hotel. Though I was there too, I wasn't able to witness their final moments. That's why I can only imagine the butchery that took place that night. It's no different now. It's hard to fully accept the notion that there's a vampire out there thirsting for human blood, all for the sake of stretching the boundaries of its domain. But it does beg the question, how would I feel if, without the slightest warning, one of my loved ones was killed in such a horrific way? It's a morbid thing to consider, that's to be sure, but I ponder it for a second. I picture Akiha having her blood drained and being tossed away like garbage. Not a wonderful thing to consider. Breath hisses between my teeth as I try to rid myself of the vertigo gnawing at my brain. The very thought of that should enrage me, yet I feel strangely cold. Now's the time to think, not the time to let my emotions run rampant, I tell myself. The fact is that there's a very real possibility that this could come to pass as soon as tomorrow. It's pitiful that I never realized just how much danger we were in. But I chastise myself for that later. Or I can, at least.
やっぱり怒ったわね、シキ。私があなたに話したくなかったのは、これは捕食される側。人間にとってどしがたいものだからよ。シキにしてみれば、吸血鬼の行為は認められないものでしょうから。
She's right. Morality and correctness have nothing to do with this. I just can't accept what they do. Even if the victims were complete strangers to me, each of them had a past and a future to call their own, all of which were dashed in an instant. I may not know what those lives were like, but that doesn't make them cheap commodities to be used and discarded. I wouldn't want to die like that, at the whim of some creature. It's just too cruel. Cruel and wrong. It's also meaningless.
でも安心していいよ、シキ。吸血鬼たちの天敵はこの国にはいないみたいだけど、今は私がちゃんといるんだから。言ったでしょ？私の目的は町を犯している吸血鬼を退治することだって。
Yeah, but you're heavily injured and pretty weakened, you know? Arcueid brightens in a flash, a far cry from her attitude a moment ago. Honestly, her words make me feel a lot better. I know just how incredible she is, and how far that she'll go to protect humans. She shielded us from Vlal's ice without a thought for herself. But that also gives me pause, an obvious question I've had even before the fight with Vlal.
それがわからない。アルクエイドだって吸血鬼なんだろ。 どうしてそんな人間の味方みたいなことをするんだよ。
私別に人間の味方をしているわけじゃないよ。それ以外にやることがないからやってるだけだもの。
Oh, great. Laziness. Or not laziness, boredom. She just has nothing better to do.
ま、そんなことをやっているから狙われるんでしょうけど、そこはそれ必要経費みたいなものかしら。
いや、お前の言いたいことはまるでわからないけど、その例えだけは間違ってるぞ。
まあまあ、細かいことは気にしないで。そんな引く手あまたヘイトいっぱいな私だったけど、シキがブローブを倒してくれたでしょ。これで障害は何もなくなったわ。あとはこの町に潜んでいる敵を見つけてなんとか始末してみせるから。シキは今まで通り普通の生活に戻って私たちなんかに関わらなくていいんだよ。
Yep, roll the credits.
ああ、うん。そりゃ嬉しいけど。
Are you really sure you'll be okay on your own? The words form in the back of my mind, but I shake my head to send them away. Something must be wrong with me. Why should I care if she winds up getting herself into danger?
シキ？何よ、また難しい顔しちゃって。シキの聞きたい話ってこれで終わりでしょ？他には何もないと思うけど。
I mean, I have about 1,000 more questions, but right
バ
now...
カ。そりゃ難しい顔ぐらいする。これは俺たちが住んでいる町の問題なんだから。
だから気にしなくていいんだって。これからは毎日街を見て回って、もうこれ以上犠牲者は出さないようにするし。それともそんなに私の性能を信用できない？
I mean, I slightly do. You know, given the circumstances that she's currently in, I really don't want to get involved, but protecting this city, it should be the responsibility of someone who lives here, not Arcueid.
アルクエイド、その、お前の言う敵は強いのか？あのブローブよりもっと。
まさかブローブはああ見えてもその一人よ。この町に救った吸血鬼はブローブより純度は落ちるわ。
そうか。ならお前がやられることはないんだな。
断言はできないわね。ちょっと前までの私なら問題なかったと思うけど、今の私は病み上がりだもの。
Which, you know, we could assume that. Hold on just a second. I nodded along without really thinking about what she just said. Arcueid is on the mend?
いやいや、風邪でもひいたのかお前。というか吸血鬼って風邪ひくのか？
ええ、とんでもなく野蛮な通り魔を一つね。
Yeah, come on, Shiki.
塔の式っていう名前の悪質なウイルスなんだけど、ご存知かしら？
ああ、いや、それはその、ごめんなさい。
Pretty sure I just kicked the hornet's nest. You did.
冗談よ。式の傷はもう治ってるわ。ただちょっと治すのに想定以上の力を使って疲れてるだけ。
Hey, I doubt it.
痛いのはブローブから受けた傷の方。こっちはまだ外を塞いでいるだけだから。
Arcueid touches her stomach lightly. Please don't show me packaging tape. I'm responsible for that wound too. She only got it because she protected me. I'm at a loss. All of Arcueid's pain has been my fault. So then why? Why doesn't she hold even the slightest grudge? How can she smile at me so innocently?
やめろよ。せめて傷が治るまでどこかで休んでればいいじゃないか。今さら1日や2日休んだって変わらないだろ。
ダメよ。ブローブと戦ったことで敵も私が来たことに気づいているはずだもの。休んだりしたらそれこそ私が弱っていると知らせるようなものだわ。
だからって今夜みたいな真似を続けていくのか？
ええ、敵の居場所がわからない以上、あいつに血を送っている死者を片っ端から潰していくしかない。そうして血の供給源を断てば本体が直に血を吸いに現れる。
それがもし明日だったらどうするんだ？弱っているのを隠したところでそんな体じゃ逆に殺されるようなものなんだろう。 なら
I stopped short of telling her not to push herself and stare at my feet. Arcueid's right. If she shows even a hint of weakness, the vampire will come to kill her regardless. These last 2 days have taught me something. When it comes to fighting, Arcueid can be brutal to the core. Rather than avoiding personal injury, her strategy is all about finding a surefire way to take down her enemy. She prioritizes her objective above all else. She doesn't force herself into believing anything but the truth. Arcueid isn't going to stop. I won't get another chance to talk with her like this if I let her go. She's not scared of death. So why'd she have to smile like that? If I could have just not seen that smile, if she just acted more like a vampire, I wouldn't feel like this.
どうしたのシキ？体震わせちゃって、もしかしてトイレ？
You are really good at ruining the moment.
お前ってやつは
She's so carefree about all of this. I lift my head. In front of me stands the woman in white. I can't pretend like none of this happened. I don't know what this feeling is, but I know I can't forget the 2 days we've spent together. That's why, if I leave her now, only for her to wind up dead tomorrow, I could never forgive myself.
勘弁してくれ。ただでさえ両目が壊れてるのに、頭まで壊れかけてる。
I don't want to deal with vampires anymore. The fight with Vlal flashes through my mind. Terror still lingers in my bones, enough to send a chill up my spine. It's the same now. This other vampire is supposed to be strong too. There's no need for me to involve myself. Arcueid says that she can handle it, so I should just leave it to her. And yet, even though I know that's the logical thing to do, I can't let her do this alone.
ああ、もう、どうかしちまったのか、俺は。
I kick at the ground. More than anything, I'm pissed off at just how illogical I'm being.
何？どうしたのシキ？いきなり怒り出しちゃって。
そりゃ怒りたくもなる。なんだって俺は、あんな目にあったっていうのに、こんなたわごとを口にしようとしているのかって。
The idea of what I'm about to utter makes me dizzy. If I had a mirror in front of me, I'd give my reflection a smack in the face.
落ち着いて。普通じゃないわよ、あなた。
なあ、普通じゃないさ。普通じゃなかったらこんなこと、とても口にはできないだろう。
Cursing to myself, I scratch at my head like I could drag the words right out. As much as I don't want to believe it, I've already decided. I said as much, didn't I?
もう、全然わかんない。ちゃんと説明しなさい。さっきからこんなことって何がこんなことだって言うの？
だからお前の体が治りきるまで手伝ってやるってそう言いたいんだよ俺は。
There it is. Arcueid looks taken aback. I finally got it out, in a way. Now that I've actually said the words, I start to calm down.
シキ、今の本当？
I groan. Even I still can't believe what I just said.
私、ちょっと聞き損ねちゃった。
Oh, you're gonna make him repeat that shit.
お願いだから、もう一度言って。
Another groan. But it's too late to go back now. I stopped being able to lie to myself the second I said it.
早く、私、今のセリフもう一度聞きたい。
She urges me with a voice close to a whisper. Averting my gaze from her beaming face, I try my best to sound angry.
だからアルクエイドが弱ってるのは俺の責任だし、街にはびこってる化け物を放っておけないし、弱っているお前一人じゃ頼りないから、俺でよかったら手伝ってやるって言ったんだ。
Ah.
シキ。
Arcueid's eyes practically sparkle. She grabs my hand happily and shakes it up and down.
まあ、俺じゃ大した役には立たないだろうけど、いないよりはマシだろう。
四季が手伝ってくれるなら怖いものなんて何もないんだから。
Oh, I feel like we've got a fair amount to worry about. Arcueid continues, giving my hand a vigorous shaking. Considering her ridiculous strength, I'm honestly afraid my arm will come out of its socket before long, but I can't bring myself to stop her. How do I put it? She looks so happy. Honestly, truly happy. Seeing that, it makes me feel like maybe I've made the right choice after all, despite how insane it sounds. Nah, I'm with you, man. And maybe now the story will truly begin. This long prologue, this long setup, it's all for this. It's all to truly begin our journey to find this vampire, to begin working together for sure. And, you know, for whatever to really come up in between of all of that. But we'll wrap it up on that note. This time for surezies. So I actually recorded more than my first take. So, that's cool. I like to do that. I wanted just a little something new in this recording session, just for my sake. But there we have it, guys. I have no idea how this episode will turn out in multiple ways, because I'm still messing with my microphone to get the proper settings that I want, so it's going to be a while of adjusting. So, I may sound different to myself, I may sound the same to you guys, even I might even sound the same with my original microphone, even so I've moved over to a dynamic. But I don't know how to change any of this stuff. I don't know the right ways to go about it, so it's a lot of trial and error until things just sound natural and good and enjoyable to listen to, because that's kind of the whole shtick here, is commentary in my Let's Plays. But yeah, we'll get it down. And hopefully everything was fine with the recording this time around on the game side of things through my capture card. Fingers crossed on this one. It just kind of sucks that Umineko, my first video recording for that one had a different issue of its own, because the audio was sort of like completely fucked. So I had to put like a band-aid over it for that recording. So everything sounded really quiet. That wasn't really ideal, but at least I was able to get through that. And then afterwards, everything was fine. I go into TSUKIHIME here, and I thought everything was going to be fine because there's nothing to adjust, but it's like I said in the beginning of the episode, that I still kind of screwed the pooch on this one, but with the press of a button, everything is, you know, hunky-dory. But sorry for all of that, and again, if you want to watch the version of this episode that is technically now shorter than, you know, this one, there will be a link in the description. All you have to do is sign up for $1 a month, and you can watch an episode of TSUKIHIME, basically this, with no game audio. It's just me. Just you and me, you know? It's how it should be. But probably not. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next episode, audio included. See you then, guys. Take it easy.